Okay, everybody, our last conversation on blood pressure and blood pressure medications will be on beta blockers. You'll know you're on a beta blocker because the medication ends in OLOL. Now, people that are on beta blockers are on beta blockers usually because they had a heart attack or something significant happened, a major event. And if you're on a beta blocker and that didn't happen, then you should re-listen to the videos that I already put out about ARBs, ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, because beta blockers are one of these risk-reward things. It's the no free lunches conversation. Let me show you what you have to think about when it comes to beta blockers and the conversation you should have with your doctor over time. So those of you that participated in the Hunt for Red October Challenge learned a whole bunch of things about heart health is actually established through Zone 2 training and what's actually happening to the heart. You're actually retraining a muscle. Just like if I wanted my legs to get stronger, there's a way to do that. Your heart can get stronger. It can get more efficient. And after something like a heart attack, your heart can, in fact, remodel, get stronger, and rehabilitate. But during that rehabilitation time, a beta blocker makes complete sense. The question that you have to ask yourself is, should you stay on a beta blocker forever? Now, this is a conversation, obviously, to have with your doctor, but let me go into some of the problems that beta blockers propose as opposed to the other medications. So those of you on beta blockers will recognize that when you exercise, it's harder to get your heart rate up. That's part of the benefit of the beta blocker in terms of allowing the heart to heal. Okay, so you can keep the heart very predictable in terms of its heartbeat. Now, what's interesting is when it comes to like the tick-tock of the heart, very predictable heartbeats and keeping the heartbeat low, this is great for healing the heart. But when it comes to performance, those of you that did the 40-day challenge many years ago, we did a whole 40-day challenge on HRV, heart rate variability. And heart rate variability is a very good thing, meaning your heart's not really meant to go tick, tock, tick, tock. It's meant to go tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tock, tick, tick, tock. There's supposed to be a little bit of a variability. That's actually a very good thing. The problem is that heart rate variability is not an option when you're on a beta blocker. So the heart rate variability is more of a sort of symptom of good heart health. The beta blocker is you're saying, hey, I need my heart to heal. You have sort of the bandage on the wound. And this is a good thing, like I said, in the short term after an event. The issue is some of the side effects are not only are you keeping your heart rate low, but people will notice things like, especially obviously men, erectile dysfunction. Why? Because peripheral, when you're saying, hey, let's keep the blood pressure low, it's harder to get blood to the periphery. And obviously that organ is distal to the heart. So it's harder to get strong blood flow there. You'll also notice less energy. People on beta blockers they're just more tired. It's easier to feel more fatigue. And like I said, if we go back to the exercise component, because this is huge, when you go back and think about the things we talked about in the Hunt for Red October Challenge and the benefits of not just Zone 2 training, which should be the main thing here when you are on a beta blocker. The main thing should be Zone 2 training. But when you start to do high intensity interval training, and what's happening with that conversation with the left ventricle, where we talked about the bellows analogy, it's very hard to get that benefit. Why? Because your heart rate stays low. But not just that, guys. It's not just about your heart rate staying low and not being able to build up that very important part of the heart. It also has to do with, because you're tired, because it's hard to raise heart rate. It's also hard to burn more calories, right? That just makes sense. So your metabolic function is affected. And people think, well, that's not such a big deal. It's actually a huge deal, because if you devote X amount of time to exercise per week and your heart rate is very low, that's that amount of calories that you're not burning from not raising your heart rate. And when you look at what actually matters over time, we're just talking about, a few hundred calories per week over time. Every 3,500 calories is 1 pound, okay? So if we say, it's only 300 calories per week that we're not burning extra when we exercise. That 300 calories over now 12 weeks is now 1 pound, okay? And over the course of the year, that's going to get close to 5 pounds. So again, over time, I'm on a beta blocker for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And this is a very conservative estimate of 300 calories. I promise you, if you're working out 3, 4, 5 times a week, it's closer to 3, 4, 500 calories. Probably be about an estimate 100 to 120 calories per workout, depending on what you're doing and how long you're doing it. The reason why I'm saying this is because these things actually matter. Not just the heart remodeling component, but the calorie burn component. So the motivation to work out, the fatigue, how many calories you burn when you work out, the erectile dysfunction, all these things deal with quality of life. So the question is that you need to ask your doctor is, okay, if I've had something happen, an event, now I took a year, and a year's a long time. It doesn't take that long, but let's just say you took a year to do zone 2 cardio, you lost some weight, you did all the right things to get your heart functioning correctly. The question now should be to have with your doctor, can I get on an ARB now? Can I get on telmisartan for all the reasons that I talked about in the other video, get the metabolic benefits without all of these side effects? See, these are how conversations need to happen with doctors, but it's on you to do it. The doctor cares that you don't die of a heart attack. You need to be the one that cares about quality of life.